Hello, my most amazing artists. Today we are talking about space and positive and negative space. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make a positive and negative space drawing of an African style mask. Now, African masks are very simple. Their details are mostly shapes and patterns. So we're going to start by making a line of symmetry, a line down the middle that's going to be balanced on both sides. So we're going to fold our paper in half, long ways, right like that, and then open it back up. Now for the first part we're going to draw our mask. So we're going to start off with a oval shape that starts at the top, ends at the bottom, and goes out to the sides. You can put these little lines to help you. Okay, and then we're just going to connect, 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 and connect. And African masks basically have several elements. You have the eyes, nose, mouth, and then some patterns. So we're going to do this with shapes. So you can do either a football shape or a circular shape. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and do a football shape for the eyes. So I'm going to make my eyes the same on both sides. And you can also add either two lines down like that for the inside of the eyes. You could go sideways, line sideways. You could do a giant circle. Okay, and then for the nose is usually long. So we're going to start up here and end down here. You can make it like a triangular shape. I'm going to make mine a little more like a what's that shape called? I think it's like a rhombus or something. So I'm going to just go put the bottom of my nose and then just go up and connect. And for the mouth, you can do a diamond with a diamond inside, or you could do a long line like this with the top, bump to the middle, bump to the outside, bump up, bump up. And now we add some different patterns. So I can add a swoop. If I add a swoop to this side, I add a swoop to this side. I can add some triangles around the edge. Let's put some like this. I can add some things around the outside. If I have any empty space, I want to kind of add some sort of element, some sort of shape. So I have a couple more empty spaces. So I'm just going to add some things to that. And once I'm okay with it and I've got the space filled, the next thing I'm going to do, and I have another one I drew on this side, is I'm going to choose a color. So I'm going to pick red. And we're going to do one side first. So I can go ahead and fold this along my fold line in the center here, just so I don't mess up and accidentally go on the other side. But I don't want it to bleed through either. So, or I could just take a piece of paper or another artwork. I'm going to take another artwork in this case, and I'm just going to cover that half of the paper so I don't mess up and draw on it. So I'm going to cover it right there to the line. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do just the positive space on this side. So I'm going to trace my line to the fold, color in, and I'll do that with all of the parts. So I'll go ahead and trace in all of my shapes, but just on the one side. It's very important because we're doing positive and negative space. So when we get to the other side, we're going to kind of flip-flop it. And you'll see what I mean in just a moment. And for this part, let's see, I'm going to kind of just leave a little bit of white space. You can do that. That's what I'm going to do right here, is leave. If you feel like maybe you need to leave a little bit of white line, you can color up to it and just leave a white line. On the eyeball, that's what's going to make the most sense for me in this. So I'm going to go ahead, got my mouth here. Now the parts that I'm coloring in are the positive space. So when we talk about positive and negative space, the positive space is the part that I'm coloring in. And the negative space is the white that's left behind. So I'm almost done. And like I said, yours doesn't have to be exactly the same as mine. But once you do one side, I'm almost there here. Then what you're going to do on the other side is you're going to color kind of the opposite thing. So on this side, let's see, I'm going to color in the background over here. Notice when I color in a large area that I kind of go around the edges first. That way I can get a nice clean line, and I can get everything kind of filled in more easily. Kind of go around the edge. So I'm almost done with my one side here. I'm going to kind of turn the paper a little bit to finish up. And now I'm going to take this back and I'm going to do my other side. Now when I do my other side, I'm coloring in the negative spaces. So instead of coloring in the other side of this mouth, I color in the space that's left behind. So I'm kind of doing the opposite here. I'm doing around the edge. So I'm kind of I'm leaving the spaces that I colored on the other side white, while I color in the parts that are not white. And so let's see here. And take your time on this and think about it. It's going to take a little bit of thought. So you look at what color did you color in on the other side, and you do the opposite on this side. Got to kind of think about it. If you accidentally mess up and color something in you're not supposed to color in, that's okay. Because remember, we're just learning. Everything is practice. So I just decided I think I'm going to leave a white line around the edge here. So I'm just going to kind of go around the edge, but close but not touching. And let's see. On this one there will just be the two lines come around like this. And the easiest way to do this is just to kind of just go ahead and trace the shapes, and then don't color in the shapes, color the outside of the shapes. So I'm tracing around the outside edge, and then I'm just going to color in around the outside of the shapes. So in between the shapes, and it'll take you a little bit of time, but you'll be left with a really cool looking positive and negative space artwork. And notice too that I kind of turn my paper every now and then. I turn my paper so it's easier to color. Sometimes it's easier to color in if you turn your paper. So as I go, I'm looking at all the negative space, and this is the opposite of the other side. Okay, and almost done getting there. So we're getting there, and we're almost at our finished artwork. So you want to make sure that you're taking your time as you're doing this artwork, because the more you take your time, the neater things are going to be. Okay, and notice how too I'm going around the edge and kind of going out and filling the space. If I see any little white spots, I want to go back and fill those in. So we're almost done here, got a little bit left. Okay, and here we have now our finished artwork. If you see any little white spots, you can go back, fill those in. And on one side you have the positive space, and on the other side you have the negative space, and you're left with a really cool looking African mask artwork. Alright, I can't wait to see your guys' masks, and I will see you next time. Bye.